Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, and this is the web series that helps you be a more effective ServiceNow developer and administrator by giving you a look at the answers to our community, some of the things that I come up with, the journey of discovery, the thought process, the exploration that goes on behind those answers so that you can get a more in-depth answer than just the answer that you get on the community. I just realized that I haven't done an introduction in a long time, and this may be the first time that some of you are watching the video, so thank you for joining, thank you for watching, thank you for discovering. My name is Chuck Tomasi. I've been with ServiceNow for coming up on 9 years. I was a customer for a couple before that, and that gives me, about 10 or more years of experience on the platform, doing custom applications, integrations. That's where my specialty lies, the platform in general. My title is Senior TPMM. I'm going to leave that to your imagination to figure out what it means. It was documented somewhere, but I am all about getting people more enabled on the platform to help them learn, discover what's involved. And this is a fun way to do it every morning at 6 a.m. my time, 1 p.m. UTC. You can do what you want. Good morning, Carolyn Ramsport, Shane J. We got a number of people that are joining us live. Let's get into the pre-log. Rafi, good day. Is that from Australia, Rafi? Don't know. Let me know. Do this on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Like that. If you find something helpful in the next hour or so, be sure to like the video so that other people know that it's out there and available. And you found something useful, interesting, even mildly entertaining. You could do that. I post this to the community as well. I'll show that link in just a little bit. Give a shout out where you're from, how's the weather, that sort of thing in YouTube. It's always fun. Participate in the discussion. And then we also do this on Twitch. Be sure to set your notifications so that you get those notifications like, let's see if I have this up and running. Yes, there we go. Twitch and YouTube have both responded on my phone screen. You can see that it's live there, and then you can join in and have some fun with that as well. So maybe we'll be getting back to the mobile interface. Maybe not. We'll see. I did do a number of things over the weekend that I wanted to share with you. That's part of this show. Some of it is going into the Q&A for the community, and others is, hey, look what I learned, and share that with you so that you can take that to your organization and employ those skills, those techniques, and like I said, be a more effective ServiceNow administrator and developer. Just double checking that I got the mute button this morning. Sometimes it takes me a couple of minutes, and when I don't do this every day, I had a number of things that were interfering last week, local and remote, and that's going to happen again this week. So the content production will be low, but I hope the quality will be up to par. Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Deepak. Wow, I feel like I have my arms around the entire globe right now. We've got people everywhere from the early morning United States to the late night in Australia. That's really cool. That's why I picked this time slot. The only people I can't reach are sleeping in Hawaii because it's 3 a.m. there right now. Let's continue on. As I said, we do this on YouTube and Twitch, so use the links there. Also do this, let's go through the little longer pre-roll. If you are new to the community, if you're new to the ServiceNow community at community.servicenow.com, I'll flash that up there. It'll come back in just a sec. Be sure to, actually, you know what? I didn't flash that up and I won't bring it back. This is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, community.servicenow.com. Get your questions, your issues, your problems, put them in there and get the subject matter experts to help you out. We have lots and lots of very smart people that can assist, join that discussion. I am not the only one out there. I participate very little these days, relatively speaking. And make sure that if you want the most impact out of that one question per post that question in the right forum. Lead with your questions, problems, what you've tried, what you expected. Code snippets are helpful. Screenshots are very helpful when you've got a screenshot. Obviously, you need to be careful of confidentiality with your organization so that you're not posting something that could potentially get you in trouble. You could always use one of those applications to scratch it out or blur it out, or even Microsoft Paint will do that for you. You can post that up there. That will be very helpful, and you get a better chance of getting your question answered. Not saying that every question gets answered, but we certainly try. If you've been around for a while, I got to remember my next hotkey. I haven't used it in a while. If you are seeing a pattern to some of these questions, some of these articles, some of these posts, then consider making a blog article. Consider making a post that encapsulates all of them. It could be something like what Pradeep did a couple of years ago on code search. Like, here's a helpful tip I just learned. Share that type of information. That's kind of where this whole idea started of making a video. Is there were things that I learned, and I said, I need a better way to share this than just keep cranking up blog articles. So I took a video approach to it. I don't have to write as carefully when I do that. Now, obviously, these videos aren't as searchable. I try to include topical links so that people can find them. But consider doing that and earn yourself some cred on the community. That's a lot of what people like Goran, Mike Bell, Steve Bell, Michael Fry, a lot of these people are writing articles just because that's a great way to build their brand, show themselves as a subject matter expert, and something to consider. It's out there. The developer community over at developer.servicenow.com, see if we can find that real quick, is where you can get yourself a free personal developer instance running Madrid or London. I think we're still going back to Kingston. You can find free learning plans out there on the developer community under Learn, right there at the top menu, training, learning plans, documentation. We've got API information for server-side, client-side, REST APIs, lots of great information. As I mentioned, free personal developer instance. There is a share portal where you can find code snippets or handy widgets or sometimes full-blown applications, such as some that I have written, to assist you. So take a look at the share portal. I don't promote that as much as I should. It's like the store, only this is more of the Google Marketplace where things aren't certified. The store has certified applications, and you can find that at store.servicenow.com. The developer portal has user-contributed things. Customer, end user, you don't have to be a certified partner, and it's not going to live up to that same level of stringency for the application. So consider looking at Share, even if it's just for an inspirational thing. Load it on your developer portal, your free personal developer instance, and try it out there before you load it into your dev instance and get it into prod. Make sure that it works, do a proof of concept, that sort of thing. And of course, lots and lots of events and our blog. The blog has articles primarily from Josh Narius, Andrew Barnes, Dave Slusher. They're posting lots of great content out there as well. And as we mentioned recently, they've added the comment feature on there. So be sure to add your commentary, your feedback to those articles. Developer portal, very, very useful. Whether you're just getting started, you're new to the platform, you're an experienced developer new to the platform, you want to learn more, you want to grow from administrator to developer, that is what our developer program is all about. And as I mentioned, there are events, many of them coming up. Helsinki Developer Meetup on Wednesday this week. Chennai also has one coming up. Wow, that is a very short list, and I suspect it's because a lot of people are ramping up to getting ready for Knowledge. So meetups there. If you want to find out more, if you want to find out if there's one in your area, head over to Meetup. So you can get that. Meetup. Where's my title for meetups? Uh-oh, we have a technical issue. Let's see if we can get this. Meetup, dev portal. It's there. I'm still reading his developer portal, not developer meetups. Okay. Bad eyesight this morning. Developer meetups over at meetup.com/pro/service.dev program is where you can find that. We have over 15,000 people worldwide and growing all the time, 50 chapters. Look for one in your area. If there isn't one, reach out to us. We'll help you get one started. Not going to run it for you. We'll help you organize it, provide content, provide funding, that sort of thing to get like-minded ServiceNow developers to get together. Good morning, Kobe. Good to see you. I think I said hi to Christopher. So good morning to everybody else. Good day, good afternoon, wherever you are. The Meetup portal, check it out, sign up, get linked. I think I am affiliated with a number of these, so I'll get notifications in my inbox that Raleigh is having a meetup. Don't know if I can make every single one of them, but I can certainly keep tabs on them in case I have a business trip there. If you are on a business trip, see if it aligns with one of the chapter meetups or align your business trip to the chapter meetup. How's that for backwards logic? We'll keep going. We also have other events that you can find over at servicenow.com/events.html for Snugs, which are ServiceNow user group meetings. We've got other events coming up. I think we've got some that are posted out in the fall, in Q3 of this year. I say fall. That's a Northern Hemisphere thing. I know it's not fall. It's currently fall in Australia, New Zealand. So no offense meant. I often slip up and use my local bearings, but Q3, we'll go with that. I have to do the time I do the show in UTC, and I have to start remembering it's Q3 when we have Now Forum, Now Summit coming around the world. Hope to be part of that again this year. But looking a little closer to home, check out the events page and see what's coming up in your area. There's always something fun. We also have Knowledge, of course. Speaking of closer to home, Knowledge 19 is how many days away? Is anybody else counting besides me? Let's bring up the mobile UI again. And Knowledge 19 is 33 days, 17 hours, 48 minutes. Of course, I'm counting until Sunday morning. You may be counting until Monday night. I don't know. That's your prerogative. But I am... when it gets to that 30-day mark, that's when panic mode sets in. There's still a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work that's been done. I am mildly anxious at this point with the workload versus the time left. It has never been in this situation before because the workload is higher this year. But I am really, really looking forward to Knowledge this year. I'm looking forward to being able to stand back and appreciate what has been done by all the people. There are hundreds of people at ServiceNow and customers, tons and tons of customer sessions. So the scheduler is up. Go to knowledge.servicenow.com. You can get to the content catalog there and start scheduling your things. Keep in mind, some may move. I've been getting my appointments and going, there's a couple of conflicts that need to be moved. There's a couple of things that are out of order. Like we'll have an intro session on Thursday. It should really be on Tuesday. So there may be some scheduling, but go plan out what you want to do. Organize your schedule. If you're not already signed up for Knowledge, go over there and register as well. It is still open. There's still space to grow. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. It's been fun being the first time I've been part of the whole prep for the keynotes, listening to the content that others are putting together, the customer testimonials and the stories that we're running, the demos that are going to be created, that it really is an interesting insight to have this sort of backstage pass this early to some of this content, even though there's so much more I'm not seeing. But looking forward to that. Let's put the mobile screen away before I get back to the main screen. So networking, don't forget to bring your business cards and sit with people you don't know. Sit with people you've never met before, because that's how you're going to grow your network, grow your experience, and you'll be able to share with other people what you've learned, and they'll be able to share what you've learned. And then we say, oh, really? I haven't implemented security operations yet. Tell me more about that. How did you get started? Where are you now? What do you think? What are the challenges you ran into? Those are going to be extremely valuable conversations. Don't forget my career tip. Write down who it was on the back of their card and when you met them and what you discussed. Because when you get home, it's all going to be a blur. You're going to meet a lot of people, some of them at, the parties Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday, and you go, they didn't have a card. That's all right. Do what you can. Do the best you can. Good morning, Shadi. Good to see you. All right, enough of Knowledge. Let's do what else was that? Oh, Customer Success Center. Haven't mentioned this in a while. Customer Success Center is at servicenow.com/success. Lots of great things. Don't forget to check out the Success Navigator to help your organization find out where you are on your path. It's a few questions, like filling out a survey, and then it creates a custom PDF with tasks, actionable items that you can implement and assign and address in your organization to really get the most value, because ServiceNow is a big platform with a lot of applications, and we want to make sure that you're implementing, you're supporting, you're maintaining. There's like 50 best practices out there on the Success Center. So I encourage you to go take a look, servicenow.com/success. I don't have the slide for the next TechNow webinar, but what I can tell you is that it is April 30th I'm working at getting that slide. Hopefully we'll have it in on the next episode, which is likely going to be Friday, what would that be, the 5th of this week. So April 30th, you can find it if you go to the community. Let's go back to this screen, community, and the magic link, I have it as a bit.ly link. You find it if you go to, let's bring up VS Code. Wrong keyboard. Hold on. Back out so I don't mess up the video. I'm going to Visual Studio. I will type it here for you. I have a bit.ly link that will take you to the index page. Let's make a new document there. It is, we don't need the release notes. Thank you. HTTP bit-ly ServiceNow-TechNow. Some of you may already know that. And if I go to ServiceNow-TechNow in a new tab, it brings me, that is a crazy paste. Sometimes paste doesn't work. I don't know what that is. No, it's the copy that doesn't work. Tell me why that didn't copy. Edit, copy, address bar, paste. Okay, it's probably easier just to type that again. bit.ly ServiceNow-TechNow brings you to the index page of all the episodes that we've been doing since early 2013. You can see we started out with Jelly. Ooh, crazy stuff in 2013. And number 63, which is down here at the bottom of the list, is on the features of Flow Designer and IntegrationHub in Madrid. So April 30th, 8 a.m. Pacific, usual time. We have our Ask the Expert session. Oh, look, they updated the image. I wonder how they did that because I'm using the same URL. Crazy. So Stacy and I will be going through. There is a register link here. You're welcome to do that. Otherwise, it goes back to all the episodes. And we are going to be talking about the looping constructs and giving a demonstration, the Integration Hub features that have been added. Lots of great stuff that's happening. That is episode 63 of TechNow. You can find that again through the link bit.ly/ServiceNow-TechNow. That is and always will be there. Okay, are we done yet? Almost. Because if there's any code to be had today, it will be in GitHub at that link. So if I write any scripts, I'll be sure to publish them so that you can download them, take it, make it, break it, do what you want with it, and leverage that. So it's there for your convenience. If you say, hey, Chuck, that was a useful script to find active users and take away their roles when they become inactive. We've done all kinds of little scripty utilities. They're dating back almost a year on the days where we have script. So if you go to that link, you'll see dated folders. And if there's one dated today for April 1st, 2019, happy April Fools. I don't have any April Fools jokes planned. You can find them there. All right, back to where we were going. Let's go to the community and find out what's happening. So refresh, reload, and restart. We have, let's look at the unreplied. After, when a user generates request item in service catalog, how many records creates in the backend? Please answer. Kind of depends on what your workflow is doing. See if I can understand. This is in field service management. Interesting that it's there. Okay. How many, what was it? How many records? The standard process for the catalog. Standard process for catalog items. Fingers are off to a great start today, aren't they? For catalog, are we at 125 or 150? 150, okay. Catalog items is to create a record in SC rec item and SC request, the latter being the parent of the former. Parent record of the former. Okay. Any additional records, e.g. tasks, are stored in SC task and are created based on your workflow. So the hierarchy looks something like this. Hierarchy looks, it's not only hard to say, but it's hard to spell. Okay, just keep spelling till the red line goes away. I can spell that word. Something like this. Request, SC request, goes to requested item, which is in SC rec item, which goes to task, which is in SC task. Your mileage may vary. Publish that, ring the bell, here we go. Got one. Great way to start April, right? Find out what happens. All right, I have so many topics I want to talk about, but I want to get some of these too. Import attachments during a migration project. Hello all, I would like to know if there is an easy way to import bulk attachments, PDF, text, doc, XLS, JPEG, PNG, etc. in a scoped application records while we are coming from a third-party application. I was initially referring to the below link, which is 4 years old, but I'm hoping there is an easy way now. Any help is greatly appreciated. Let's find out what the other link did. Oftentimes when migrating from an older tool into ServiceNow, it's a requirement that the file attachments be migrated from the tool. The output of this exercise is a robust PowerShell script. MIME type. How did they do this before? Was it REST or was it JSON? Well, how did they... Wow, this is quite the article. This is the kind of thing you should write if you have the question or you learned something and went, I did something I'm pretty proud of. This is going a little bit beyond what I have time to cover in the show. I'm interested, but unfortunately don't have time to bring myself up to speed on all of that. So apologies if that was something you wanted to look at. Go ahead. While updating worknotes in ServiceNow, some special characters are being sent into the other tool's payload. Please find below JSON code for worknotes, which is sending special characters to other tool when there is space and next line. Please guide how I can resolve the issue. So function JSON encode the string. Don't know if we're using, I don't know that I'd use the class, but let's find out how we're doing that. Set string parameter worknotes, JSON encode, current worknotes, journal entry. If you tried stringify, especially if you've got to do that reeks of stringify, then do comments. The results are internal worknotes. It's converting the less than and greater than to obviously ampersand LT and ampersand GT. What are the extra characters? New line, carriage return. Okay, couple of comments. Let's try that again. A couple of comments to get you started. First, rather than use new JSON encode, try using json.stringify. Something like this. Let's go get a chunk of their code just to have some fun. Inline example. Okay, set string parameter comments. Let's do a code block with this little symbol right here in the community editor. Make sure it's JavaScript, and I'm not above burning a couple of variables. Var comment equals, we'll get this. Kind of helps anyway for me to make it a little easier to debug. Journal entry is going to return that anyway. It's not an object. Then we can do json.stringify comment. Put that in there. Down below where I can't see, we have that. Second, which characters specifically are messing you up? I can see that this and that get turned into ampersand LT and ampersand GT respectively because they have to. That's just the way encoding works. Otherwise it could interfere with the payload on the other end. Okay. Let's get started with that, see where we go. There's 2. Keeping going. SP type ahead while updating worknotes. We already just did that one. Let's do a quick refresh. There were a couple of things that I saw at the top of the list that intrigued me, that I wanted to take a look at. After when, did I or did I not? They just posted that again. Okay, please only post in one community. This is in field service management. I haven't answered this. What happened to my refresh? That was bizarre. Did I not hit refresh just then? Okay, maybe it was me. While updating worknotes, that's the one I did. Did they edit this? Because a minute ago that was in field service management. Now it's in service integration and management. Very weird. Add/remove rows functionality catalog item. Nope. How to add logo in email body. That one's been answered, and I want to see what the answer is for that. I want to add a logo in notification email body. Below attached is the logo. You can add the logo by the following procedure. Go to notifications, edit your notification, and under the message, click on insert image icon and do that. Okay, I would also recommend they go back and watch last Monday's video. So there's our answer. Let's go find that on YouTube in this feed somewhere. There have been a lot of videos. If you're subscribed to the community channel, you know that there's a lot of content back here that gets posted. I am not the only contributor to this channel. So copy that link address, bring that forward. I also suggest, you know what, even better, let's not do that. Let's go to the community. And where are we going to find this? Oh, you know what? We can find it through this link. Stop the playback. It's in the community. There's a link in here that brings you back to the community. Ha-ha! You can watch it within the community. I put that there. I also suggest, sorry about that screen hopping around, just copying and pasting a link. You watch the video I did from Monday on, Monday 25 March 2019. Towards the end, I talk about email notification templates. No, it wasn't templates. What are they called? I can't remember now. Get back logged into my personal developer instance. System, policy. It is email templates. Okay. And copy, paste. Link, new page, go there, done that. These allow you to set up a framework that the notifications can use, and that way you don't have to add the logo to 1,500 messages at once. And when the logo changes, too many S's in messages. And when the logo changes, you only have to update the one template rather than touch each notification. I should know because ServiceNow has changed logos 3 times in the 9 years I've been here. don't think it won't happen to you. All right, young companies tend to do that a little more frequently than older companies, but it does happen. I think as I was growing up, Motorola changed their logo. Starbucks changed their logo. How about that? A couple of times. So yeah, it happens. How to decrypt password 2 encryption in a scoped application? Good question. I thought there was a way. Is there no method? Anyone help me decrypt password 2 two-way encryption field in a scoped application? 5 replies. Try this. New Glide encryptor. Encrypted is current U password. Decrypted. You know, these are really, they look a lot better if you put them in a code block. Look how spaced out that is. Thank you for your reply. I tried, but using Glide encryptor works only in global, not scoped applications. Hi, after generating a request item, I know how many records creates on the back end. That's nice, but not part of this discussion. Okay, isn't this part of a different discussion? Wasn't this part of a different thread? Thread, please help keep the community organized. I'm going to give a big smiley face on that one. There we are. Wouldn't have known that if I hadn't been reading all these threads. So let's go take a look at developer.servicenow.com. This and look for, something in scoped called decrypt. And we get decrypt script and scripted string. Decrypts a clear string using triple des. Let's see what we come up with. Is this part of, here, let's try something a little more specific. Decrypt password 2. And we get community, 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 no APIs. How about just looking for password 2 in API? Set encrypted output, set encrypted output, set encrypted output, execute subflow, execute action. I don't see it. Okay, intriguing with a capital I. Missing additional comment for the reply email, import attachments, avoid duplicate record, insert through business rule. Let's find out what's going on here. I have an order item table, invoice table, and invoice line item table. In normal application, behavior order items are added first, and when the application state is changed to reservation confirmed, then the invoice is generated, and the order items are added once the invoice item. My head is trying to grab hold of the data model here. Invoice line items are recreated on all order item insert update. Okay, so what's the action? When the application status is changed to reservation confirmed, before adding order items, it will generate 0 amount invoice. And I have blocked this issue by checking the order item table row count as below. So they go into their table. They do an add query for records that have a reservation of the current ID. Looking for a parent-child relationship is what I'm looking at. See if they get there. If the row count is less than or equal 0, I don't know if it can be less than 0, but okay. Then they get out and they don't have one. Otherwise, create invoice logic, create invoice logic. And if the order items are added and the status changed, then the invoice should be generated first. I have a business rule for this on the order item table to show below. And here is a big, long business rule that I'm going to try and condense really fast. Has invoice for the reservation, checks, and does a query. You know, rather than doing this, you could just do a has next. There's a method called has next that just returns a true or false. It doesn't even retrieve the record. If you need to retrieve it, then you do a next, and it will fail if it doesn't exist. Then they go in here, they do an initialize, they create the record. This part doesn't need to have a .sys on the end. That is a bad practice. You're getting the entire record. You're dot walking to that record and implicitly retrieving that record, just use the sysid, which you already have in a reference field. I'm not seeing any get values in here, so use at your own risk. We've got some dot walking going on, which is fine. We've got a new glide date time. So they're creating a record. There's my insert. And another business rule. Oh my goodness, this just goes on, doesn't it? Again, I'm not going to be able to do much here given the amount of information. And there's already a thread going on. So apologies if that was yours and you're looking forward to it. I don't skip over these lightly. I want to make sure that this is interesting and there's something to learn here. Looking for a script that I can use in a flow designer to make a REST call to Google Contacts API or to any API using OAuth. Oh, my kind of stuff. Don't want to use REST step available in Flow Designer. That's going to be your easiest way, actually. Why don't you want to use the REST step? As Brad asks. And if you're using OAuth, you can use connection alias from the REST step. Hi, Brad. I want to develop a flow where I could pass any REST API as an input and invoke REST API and pass a response in output. Later on, I can use this in flow and subflow in a flow module, reusable flow. Any suggestions? You could make an IntegrationHub spoke that just executes some server-side JavaScript instead of using the REST step, but a better practice would be to make a spoke and activities for each of your integration points so you can be specific around the inputs and outputs for each. That is correct. If you have to use server-side JS, they can use the REST message v2 API. This is something that if you've got your REST APIs already built, like I do for this one, for posting to the community or posting to YouTube, you can repackage them in an IntegrationHub spoke. That part you have to do because you have to run the REST from an IntegrationHub spoke or an IntegrationHub activity, action, excuse me. But it wouldn't make much sense for me at this point, since I've already invested the time in those, to build them out as new spokes with new actions. Unless, of course, I wanted to distribute them. Then I would re-engineer them. Or for the basic practice of learning, I could do that. So I like Brad's answer. I did not mean to hit reply. I meant to hit helpful. There we go. There is something in the inbox, so let's check out the inbox and see where it takes us. There's all kinds of discussions. I haven't participated in too many lately, but maybe something's related today. Get date user last updated a record using GlideAggregate. GlideAggregate doesn't return those details. This is a 2-year-old discussion. Okay, somebody replied, "Hi, Chuck. I don't see any updated field on the sysaudit table. How can you find the last updated time on a field?" That would be when it's created. Really, sysaudit doesn't have... I find that amazing. sysaudit.list. I thought every table came from the global table. We have created. We have updated account. We have update. Interesting. That's it. There's one I didn't know. How about that? We learn something new every day. So if I go to configure dictionary, I will likely not see that. Yep. It says created by, it says created on. It is not extended from the global table. Fascinating. Let's get rid of that one. We were already there. Interesting. I didn't see that. In lieu of that, you can use the syscreated on, because the audit record creation date reflects the time the change was made. Example, state changes from 1 to 5 on such and such date. Oh, the whole reason is audit records don't change. They are a recording of what got audited. Let's read. This table doesn't need an updated date. Because those records aren't updated. They are meant to record the time and date a change was made, and the records are immutable. Use the syscreated on field instead. That makes sense. This makes sense to me. All right, I have an idea. So in my notes, I have this link of potential topics, and I have been dragging this Google Doc around for close to a year, and I keep adding to it and subtracting to it, and it's time. It's time to put this in a table so that when I get an idea, I can just jot it down, throw it in the table. We could even make a mobile app if we like, but let's create this so that I can stop using this Google Doc. This is the kind of radar you should have in your organization to go, oh man, there's a spreadsheet that needs to die. Oh, somebody's really doing this kind of record keeping in a document or a Google Doc, whatever it happens to be. So it's time to make a table for this. Let's go together, I haven't done this yet, over to my community live stream application that is running on my other instance. Log in quickly here. Create a table and think about the types of information that I convey to this show and what I would need to reference that quickly to bring you the best content possible, and then maybe transfer a couple of these records over. So I'm in Studio on my instance, make that a little bigger. Let's create a new table. Click, click, done, done. Collapse this section so we get a little more screen real estate. And these are just going to be my ideas for this show. I did give this a little thought before we started. So we're going to need a name, something that captures the essence of one of these line items, like an update on forEach that I discovered based on what I told you last Monday. That probably 40 characters isn't going to hold it, so let's go to 100 and make sure that is the display value should anybody else ever reference that in a reference field. Let's give a little longer description, which could be maybe 1,000 characters. I like to have an active field on here, letting me know if I've already covered this topic or not. Pretty much every table I make has an active field. At some point, I may build a reference qualifier. Let's be ready for it. And default that to true. I often share script, or I capture script, get an idea of a script that I want to share. So let's make a script field. For lack of imagination, we will call that script, and it will be presented on the form as a script field. What else? Oh, how about a link to the episode? That way, when I cover it, I know it's already there. Let's do episode will be a reference field. And that links to the episode record in my CLS application. We could also do with a link. Sometimes I link back to a community article as a reference. So let's do, is link too generic or should it be community link? I may link to something else, maybe a Stack Overflow. Maybe a related list of links would be better. Let's do that. Let's do that instead. Hadn't thought of that. So there's my basic ingredients to get me started. Just scanning over some of these ideas, I see places where I can insert code. I could have a link to a doc article. I could have a link to the developer portal. Yeah, I think a related list is going to be better. So submit that. I now have a new table, and because it's a related list, I should put a related it is a reference link. I should put a link on the CLS form. But before I do that, let's design this form layout a little better. Let's clean this up using Form Designer. And while that's loading, I'm going to go back here to my episodes of, that's Tech Shorts. Where's my community live stream? There it is. And in here, this is not a community live stream episode, but it is the right form. It's any content that is posted to the YouTube community. Let's do configure related lists and put ideas on there. There's my idea to episode related list. Sounds good. Form Designer's up. That looks terrible. So let's change the first part to 2 column, add a new section for the big fields to be single column, get rid of the label. We don't need a section called new section. Put name, that was 100 characters. It sort of feels better as a wide field. Let's do this. Let's do a single column, then a 2 column. Again, get rid of new section. Put the name at the top. So we'll go wide, then have some side by side, then wide. So single column, active, I like active over there. Episode, that's good. Script is a big field, that should be down here. So that's my form layout. Or the first form layout. Now, let's go take a look at, we'll refresh this, we have a new table. Community live stream. I did not give that idea any order, so there it is. This list layout could be a little bit better. It's kind of how it goes when you make tables and applications and whatnot. We do not need the big fat description on there. We do not need a script field on there. The episode is nice to link to. Actually, you know what? The big fat description might give me a head start. Let's leave that up there. Anything else that needs to go in that list? Not today. Then we also had that idea field. Sorry, that was the idea table. We also need to make a table for links. So let's create a new table again. And we'll call this idea link. And it's going to be pretty simple. Pretty simple indeed. Let's create the URL, which will be of type URL. Let's create the text, which will be a string field. 100 feels good for that. That probably will do it. And I can rearrange the list layout on that. Don't need to go anywhere for that. But what we do want is, let's create a new sample record. So based on the, what is that? Oh, it's a little field chooser thing. Never noticed that before. Let's go to my potential topics and do update on forEach. I'm starting to have other thoughts of what I want to capture here. Maybe like a date captured. Could probably put just created by. I don't have it linked to an episode yet, so it's not included. But when I do, I can easily attach this to an episode. Okay, things I learned about the forEach loop in script includes. E.g., it doesn't recognize this. Right? I don't have a script example to put in there right now. But now that I've got that captured, I could also, should have done this on the same form, put in my idea. Oh, guess what I forgot on the idea table? A link to the parent record. You can't have a related list if you don't have a reference to the parent record. So let's do that. That would be a link to the idea table, which is going to be a reference. You guys saw that coming, right? I know you did. Idea, XNC, idea link. No, I don't want it as a reference to itself. Update that. Now, if I go back and say, hey, how about a related list? Because I have that reference field, I have that link as well. And down below, I have links. There are no links for this particular one. Let's go get another example just to see how this works. And the fields are in the right order. I thought I was going to have to flip those around. Let's go back to my potential community live topics. Look for info on UI notifications. All right, there's an idea. So let's go to an idea record, create a new one, paste that in. It's not attached to an episode right now. There's a link. Look at that. Copy the link. Copy the link. I don't even know what this link goes to, so we're going to have to explore so we can get a description in here. How to create UI notifications in the standard UI. These are different then gs.add info message. I do want to cover this topic at some point, but I don't want to lose the idea. So save that. And in my links, that's a terrible form layout. I'll get to that in just a minute. Let's put in the link. But I don't know where that goes, so let's open that up in a new tab and get the retaining info message on record producer portal. I think that's where it was. That link had to mean something to somebody at some day. So let's configure this form design real quick. Make this a little prettier. We got name, URL, idea. That field really doesn't need to be a wide layout. I don't really care for reference fields that have a big wide layout. So let's do text URL. I don't know. Just thinking out loud here quickly. See how this looks. Drag that down to a half field. Aesthetics. It's all the rage. Reload that. Most of the time, am I going crazy? Did I not save that? Fine, we'll do form layout. Just to be different. It's below a split. Just for sanity's sake, I like to put that in there. Why is it showing up as a big wide field? There. Okay, that's what I was aiming for. So now I have my idea link, or my short idea field. I've got my idea link record in my table. Let's open that record, and I should have one record at the bottom of, there we go. Is there anything in here that includes a script? Not today, but I think I'm going to write some, just so it saves time in the community live stream. So I will work on populating the rest of those. That was fun. We now have a collection of ideas. We have the episode record. If I go back to live stream, I can see which ideas were consumed and turned into topics. Currently, none, because I haven't done this before. So I have an idea. Let's make an idea record about this idea. Get rid of that. Go back to the records. Go to my idea, and then I can attach it to today's record. So create table for ideas. This is a little meta. That's going to be on the episode record, which doesn't exist yet today. Find a way to get rid of the potential topics document that you've been dragging around for months. Capture them in this app instead. Okay, very easy. Submit and done, and then I will be able to attach that to this episode when it becomes available. Now, what would make more sense as this list grows is to filter out the ones that I've already used. So let's do a quick pencil icon on that module. Give it an order. I have no idea what order these are in, but I'm going to say it's probably none. This may not be ordered at all. Let's put this at 500 for now and set the link type to have a filter of active is true. Done. One of the easiest filters you'll always use. Wait for this to refresh, and ideas shows down here. Idea links is now there, so let's put that next. Not that I really need a module for that, but 600 feels right. And there we are. Just augmented the application that helps administer this video. How about that? That was fun. Is there anything in here that I wanted to talk about specifically today? Yes, the forEach. Okay, we're going to go through this real quick. I got about 5 minutes. Go to my personal developer instance. That's not it. That's it. And what I found was that forEach, I talked about this last week. And if I go to my little code editor and do something like, here is a list of stuff. In fact, now I can't remember where it was. So let's go get the code that makes that up. That's the wrong stream. That's the wrong path. Let's find this the other way. Now, community, live stream. Maybe it was on the 19th. There it is. forEach. I have no idea who's going to open that up. Oh, good thing VS Code will help me. So I've got an array of objects, and I showed that you could either do this with a for loop, doing for I equals blah, 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 or you could do for list.forEach, and then call this little function. So if I paste that back into scripts background, and run that, I should get a listing of person.name, person.computer, because I'm passing the item of each list item in here, just to demonstrate that I can get the information out of that array. I do that, and of course I get Chuck has a Mac, Craig has a Chromebook, Mark has Windows, Donna has a Mac. What you would expect from printing this array out. But I found that it doesn't work so well when you're trying to reference the function in a script include. So the way that the script include goes, let's go to my community live stream application. And it's in here somewhere. CLS. Collapse that. I don't know if I have a script include. Dayutil, server-side code. Let's just make another one. Why not? So under server development, script include, I'm going to create a new one with, come on, wait for the form to finish loading. There it goes. We'll just call this one test this, because that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I get the little prototype down here. I will make a function called list things. Here. Print list is a function, and I'm not going to pass it anything. Yeah, I'll pass it the list. And now I get to sort this code out. So I'm going to pass this in as part of my test. So don't need that. Definitely don't need the commented out code. And in here, I'm going to do a list for each item. And when I reference another function within my script include, get my curly braces all lined up here. Did I lose my function? I lost my print function. I must have highlighted it or something. Print list, function, list. Hopefully we'll get these things to start losing their, what is this complaining about? Expected other curly brace. That one matches way up there. Oh, thank you, autocomplete, for kind of screwing with me. Just making a function in a script include to print out the list, but it's going to call display item. Now, this declaration won't work in a script include that way. So we'll fix this up. Function there, get this indentation going right. That can go away. That gets a comma, not a dot, comma. And here we go. So this should really be this dot display item, if everything I said works the way it should be. Now, you could have done the example I showed last time in a, was that 2 weeks ago already, almost? Wow. You could do that in a business rule, a UI action, anything that's not using a script include. But in a script include, here's what I found. Save that. And when I try calling that in a test script, I need my sample list. There's my sample list. Going to instantiate the new object. New test this. Oops. Try that again. I don't need to instantiate it here. We'll just do gs.info. Thank you, autocomplete. gs. That's irritating. I got the wrong autocomplete thing going on here. Dot info. Take that. It's more than one way to write code. And I'm going to write new test this dot print list and send it my list. All right. Now, that would seem to reason that it's going to iterate over every element in the list and call display person. One would think. But if I go back here and run it, it's going to bark at me and say, I don't know what test this is. So, okay, first it's complaining about the script include. Am I in the wrong scope? No, because it's defaulting. Oh, why is it on global? Something's broke. Have I been in this since I started in global? Okay, because I know that default's the right thing. Okay, this is what I was expecting. It says, I can't find display item in this object. What are you talking about? And I go to my script include and I say, well, it's right here. There's display item and this is this display item. There is a scoping issue here. This is normally how you would reference other functions in the script include. But because this is encapsulated in a function itself, all bets are off. That was kind of irritating. I don't know a way to fix this other than reverting to the traditional for loop. Maybe somebody else does. By default, background script will run a global. No, it doesn't. It actually runs in the scope. It used to until about Helsinki. And I barked really loud and said, please, 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 can we make this dropdown match this dropdown when you go into scripts for the first time? So if I change this to CTUtil spoke and go to scripts background, it defaults to CTUtil spoke. If I go to global and go to scripts background, it goes to global. Oh, look, it even changes live. I didn't know that. Okay, so this will default to the scope because so many times I went in there and I pasted and it says, you're not in the right scope. The issue before was that I had already run a global scope and then I changed to CLS through Studio, not through that dropdown. But anyway, back here, it says, I don't know what it is. And you look at the script include, it says, sorry, I don't know what display item is. And my resolution at this point, maybe somebody else has a better idea that knows more about JavaScript depth than I do. I do the old for var I equals 0. I less than list.length. I was trying to show you something really cool about using forEach. It's not the answer for everything. And then for readability, I always do var item equals list sub I, so I don't have to keep typing these square brackets because that's one of those characters on the keyboard where I have to glance down. And now this will work. Let's line that up. Oh, this parentheses is out of the way. And that semicolon needs to get out of the way. So that's the modification. Now if I run this again in scripts background, run that, it will work. There's apparently some undefined element in there, or I'm printing something else that's undefined. But you get the idea. For each in a script include can't call other functions. Kind of crazy. Maybe the problem is that you do not have any return in that script include when you call it. It's not complaining about the return, and I don't need anything returned when I'm displaying. It's complaining that this is not this. This refers to the current instantiation of the object. I would almost have to create another test this case object, which isn't what I want to do. So it's a scope issue that it doesn't understand. Where is display item? Because this doesn't have one. As soon as you go into the for each, it's a different like variable scope or something. So for safety's sake, stick with the old method, right? You can. There are a number of places where I still do it as long as I don't run into an object. So much more to discuss that I've learned over the last couple of days and weeks, but I'll save those for another episode. Until then, thank you very much for hanging out with me for an hour. Don't forget, if you find something useful, you've learned something, you want to share it, click that like button on the video or mark this article in the community as helpful. I'll have it up there in just a few minutes after the camera stops. Thanks for hanging out. It's been great. If you learned something, share it. You'll be helpful. And I'll see you next time.